Justin Bieber recently unfollowed Usher on social media, fueling speculation about the status of their relationship. Meanwhile, Jay-Z and Jennifer Lopez are facing lawsuits linked to Diddy, and rumors suggest Usher could soon be in the spotlight as well. New evidence has emerged, including tapes showing Usher attending Diddy's infamous parties and witness testimony placing him at the scene of an alleged assault. Usher is reportedly scrambling to manage the potential fallout. Your paragraph is well written and grammatically correct. Just a few minor tweaks for clarity and flow.
Okay, I'm here, and there's a lot to cover. Justin Bieber is continuing the purge. He has now moved to unfollow Usher, okay, his original mentor. So this is a very big story, and the reason why we should discuss this and we should not diminish what is happening, it's not celebrity drama. This is actually the fall of Babylon that we are witnessing, Hollywood Babylon, that is. Something happened in the background, and people started noticing some things last year. In 2024, you guys will remember that Usher was tapped to perform at the Super Bowl. And people therefore assumed, because usually when you are tapped to perform the Super Bowl, you bring in all your hits, you call up all your homies, there's all of these guest surprises of people jumping on stage, and it's a trip down memory lane. So everyone was really hyped and assuming that Justin Bieber would be on the stage with him, especially because Justin Bieber went to the Super Bowl. The signs were there. But then news began breaking that actually no, Justin Bieber had snubbed him, that he had turned down Usher. People were wondering if this was true or just usual rumor mill in the media. But then Usher confirmed it on the Breakfast Club. Kind of seemed like he was trying to make it seem like it wasn't a big deal, that here I am the mentor and he turned me down. Here is what Usher said explaining that on the Breakfast Club.
Why didn't things work out with Justin Bieber?
You know what? They did work out with Justin. I honored and recognized that my brother, I think that it might have been the fact that he was just, wanting to tell a different story right now. But there's no love lost or anything like that.
Seems like he's struggling to find words there, doesn't it? He's saying, I think that maybe he's just trying to write a different story. What does that mean? I think that. You've been his mentor for decades. Shouldn't you know that? It's almost decades, right? Shouldn't you know the reason why he didn't want to perform with you? Saying that he's trying to write a different story.
Usher signed Justin Bieber to his record label, Lease Records, when Bieber was just 13 years old. At the time, Justin was a huge fan of Usher and dreamed of being mentored by him. However, their relationship seems to have taken a drastic turn. Justin has unfollowed Usher on Instagram, refused to perform with him on stage, and appears to be distancing himself in every possible way. Fans speculate that this behavior stems from something Usher allegedly did to Justin. In fact, the real reason Usher fought so hard against Justin Timberlake to sign Bieber might be far darker than anyone ever imagined. Today, we're diving into the full story. Your paragraph is grammatically correct and flows well. Only slight adjustments were made for readability and polish.
I didn't mean to stop you like that, but this is only a tease. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you Island Air Chair recording artist Justin Bieber is getting ready to go down. Just so you know, we're in the studio right now working on it. Get ready because it's going to be big. Ain't that right, Justin? That's right. That's right. So look out. Coming.
Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute, and his management was backing him home. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the Diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him. They promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the Diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
Sure.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know. what Diddy's really like. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart. We took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there.
When Usher was just 14 years old, his mother sent him to Puffy Flavor Camp so Usher could be mentored by Diddy. Usher thought Diddy was going to teach him how to be a music artist, but in reality, Diddy never wanted to mentor Usher. In Usher's own words, he had to stop Diddy several times from exposing him to sexual material, and it was actually Shan Combs who had introduced him to sex. Why was 45-year-old Diddy teaching a 14-year-old to have sex, and why is Usher so reluctant to go? Back to Diddy.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp
There you go.
to learn some...
Camp?
Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In
to...
the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgies nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
And your
Jodeci,
parents were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, does it keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than you.
And what time, do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem.
Yeah.
I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See?
Footage has surfaced from the time Usher was with Diddy, revealing what Diddy was exposing him to. And it's far worse than you might imagine. Picture a 14-year-old surrounded by adults in such an environment. This was what Usher experienced on a daily basis.
Yeah, we want to thank you too, man. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close to the bed. But it's just like, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it. You did. No, I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even I don't want to come close to the bed at all. I should look like he fresh off goddamn plane. I should. Stage, my brother right here from day one used to wake up and pause. But like that's how. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? It's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes because he used to always get up early.
Yo, what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes. And we're streaming live. That was stupid. That was stupid.
He's having a good time, yo.
Usher was reportedly exhausted by what Diddy was doing to him and wanted to get away, so he used Justin Bieber as a replacement. Usher signed Justin and even handed over legal guardianship of him to Diddy. Despite knowing the kind of man Diddy was and admitting he would never send his own child to stay with him, Usher still sent Justin. For Usher, sexual abuse had been normalized, something he himself had to endure as a young artist.
That I was just, living in this shame, living in all this sort of stuff in my past, and I wasn't able to move on.
Do you think the person that you have been was on a path of self-destruction?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure, 100%. Yeah, it would have been no. It was bad. I don't know if I'd be alive for sure. It was dark, but I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully learn from it.
Well, for me, music comes from somewhere.
Right.
Maybe it comes from this youthful naivety and this desire to escape something. And then you get out there in front of the world, and then it comes from a place of wanting more of it.
Yeah. Then you just think about how young I was and so impressionable. and you have everybody telling me how awesome I am at all times, you know. And, like, I just want people to understand, like, the psychology behind why I potentially could have problems in my life. So, yeah, thank you for being here and helping me tell that story. But yeah, just protecting those moments, because people take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect it, you know. I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Do you realize how important this story is? Every time I have a conversation with someone who's been through this unique type of experience, I'm just searching for some kind of truth that can help.
I commend you for going there and asking the tough questions and the things that people don't want to talk about, and they don't want to go there because it's revealing, and I want people to take a look at my story, and hopefully my words can make a difference.
Sources close to Diddy have confirmed these claims for years. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, even recalls witnessing Diddy sexually harassing Usher. There were reports within the music industry suggesting that Diddy's abuse had sent Usher to the hospital. Although medical records related to the incident were allegedly erased due to Diddy's influence, this situation was reportedly common knowledge at the time. In exchange for sexual favors, Diddy would help advance Usher's career.
If you don't mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive, what happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executives from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that. And they may be doing something, they may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
Where did you hear it?
Bro, you know how people be talking and you around some people, something like that. And then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me refrain you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in the mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up with somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp.
Officers who raided Diddy's Miami mansion have described the discovery of baby oil as just the tip of the iceberg compared to what they actually found inside. Allegedly, there was clear evidence, aside from the tapes, that implicated Diddy in child sexual abuse. Some officers have even suggested that Diddy's only option now is to plead guilty and cooperate, as the evidence found in his mansion makes him appear worse than Jeffrey Epstein. According to these officers, there is a reason the government raided Diddy's mansion in such a manner. The mansion contained rooms specifically designed for the purpose of abuse, and some believe Diddy's actions are more heinous than Epstein's. Once Diddy's trial begins, all of this information will come to light and Diddy will face consequences.
For years, P. Diddy's gotten a whole pass. He's actually created his own kingdom where he makes his own rules. You got to follow his rules or you get penalized. And guess what, Laura? He's now in a federal penitentiary And for the first time in his life, he's facing his own fate at the hands of somebody else. And I will tell you, Laura, I've done federal cases, that's not the place you want to be in federal court. 90% of federal criminal indictments brought down are pled out, right? A plea deal is brought. And of the only 10% left, 90% of those defendants who go to trial, they lose. So he is looking at a daunting uphill battle to fight these horrible charges.
Now, Brian, one of the DHS agents involved in this raid on his Miami mansion described what he saw inside the house, saying that, in my opinion, he's as bad as Epstein. These women are young, either barely legal or barely illegal. Brian, this sounds like he was a monster.
Yeah, Laura, I will tell you that this indictment was very detailed, by the way, too. Your viewers should know there were over 300 subpoenas served, over 50 witnesses interviewed. Why is that important? Because the federal prosecutors aren't going to be leveling an indictment like this unless they have ammunition and they have cause to bring it. And the core issue at this case, which the feds have to prove, which it's looking like they can, is that P. Diddy essentially controlled these women, that he threatened them with stopping the money that he was paying them, that he spiked their drinks with drugs, that's been alleged in the indictment, and that he basically told them, I'm going to ruin your life unless you engage in these freak-offs. And that's really what the prosecutors got to prove. And if you've got some victims coming forward to talk about that, you've got financial records that prove that, travel itinerary that proves that, P. Diddy has very little defense. And I got to tell you, Laura, if this guy wants to fight these charges, he's going to have to step up and walk into a courtroom and talk about it. If he doesn't testify in this case, he is dead on arrival.
Well, who else is on these tapes? I mean, will the tapes ever see the light of day? I mean, that's what everybody's talking about. Who else is there? It's like with the Epstein, his pleasure island. Who else? Who went? Who was there? What's the manifest? But Brian, chances 1 being least likely, 10 being most likely, will we learn of other celebrities that were at these freak-offs?
Yeah, I think you've got an 8 or a 9 for a likelihood you're going to hear about it. Why? Because there are going to be more indictments coming down, Laura. That's an important point here, because he's being charged with racketeering conspiracy. You're going to have, let's start on the inner circle. You're going to have former bodyguards. You're going to possibly have former musicians that he was with. You've got personal assistants that are going to be, they're already talking about this. Some of those are likely to be charged. And then guess what? If you've got some music moguls that are sending women over these alleged freak-offs, then you've got some top people that are going to start crumbling too, because they're all part of what's called this criminal enterprise.
The rumors suggesting that Diddy was not involved in child abuse are hard to believe. According to Gann, where there's smoke, there's fire. Gann Deal is implying that there's a reason why everyone in the industry has heard the same story about Usher.
This guy is walking around threatening other actors, people. Somebody got to get involved in it. If it ain't the state, let it be the feds. Somebody got to stop him. He lucky that God given him the opportunity to be stopped while he's alive and have to go to hell and face that shit. He got a chance to repent now. Change his life.
You mentioned a minor. And a lot of people have been trying to drag Justin Bieber into this situation because there's a lot of suspect looking videos with Diddy and Bieber in it, and they're making a lot of allegations.
Mm-hmm. Same way they made allegations about Usher when Usher was young.
I mean, do you think that there's any credibility to these allegations?
When there's smoke, there's fire. Why would Diddy be tapping his kid in his chest to see if he wired? And asking him, are you wired? Why would he be confronting that kid? Why would Justin Bieber make a song about, what is it? I got smashed at a Diddy party or something like that? Why? There's reasons behind all this. So, where there's smoke, there's fire, Ken. I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, Justin, he's been real quiet about this. I mean, I think like a lot of the other celebrities.
I was reading something, Cam, and the kid said after he went to Diddy camp, he started using drugs so heavy and was smashed every day. What would cause a kid who wanted to be an artist in the music business all of a sudden to start getting high and drinking and drugging, popping pills and smoking? What would cause a kid to do that?
I mean, usually trauma.
Or a Diddy party.
Things aren't looking great for Diddy's associates either. Jennifer Lopez has just been named a material witness in a sexual assault lawsuit, which claims she has video footage of Diddy's actions but failed to intervene. In his lawsuit, alleged victim Cardello Smith states that Diddy raped him in 1997 during a party at a Holiday Inn in Detroit, where Cardello worked as a bartender. Cardello has identified J-Lo as a material witness in the case, claiming that Diddy recorded the alleged assault and showed the footage to Lopez.